Hey, thanks for tuning in. Alec Davis here, once again, your local Orange County realtor, as well as real estate investor based out of Brea, Yorba Linda area. I'm making another good video for you guys, tips and tricks, real estate for buyers and sellers, depending on your situation, on what to expect, either when you're buying or selling. This video is going to be a little more in-depth, not a very long video, but just a little more in-depth about escrow and what to expect when you're going through escrow, what is escrow, some of the basic questions, just a real quick couple-minute video on some quick questions that you may have asked about escrow. So what is escrow entirely? Literally, when you make an offer on a home as a buyer or as a seller, when someone gives you an offer and you guys accept it and you're ready to go, you open up what's called escrow. Now, they have to put money into escrow. They're literally a third party. There's somebody completely separate from the buyers and sellers who have no bias upon who gets it, what the price range is, or any of that. Their only job is to make sure that the money gets transferred where it's supposed to go, and that all the paperwork is given to them to make sure there's a complete transaction. Escrow is your friend. They can take sometimes a little longer than they should. Sometimes they're fantastic. Some escrows are better than others. It's kind of like with anything, really. You can get some good food somewhere, a good realtor somewhere else, a bad realtor, some bad food. So when it comes to picking an escrow, don't worry about it. Your realtor is more than likely going to have a good escrow company to go through. But when you first, as a buyer, you put down your EMD, which is earnest money deposit, you have to put that down when you first open escrow as a buyer to let the seller know that you're legitimate and that you're ready to go. As a seller, they'll look at that and see how much you're putting down to see how serious you are. If on your offer you're only going to put $500, somebody else comes in and says they're going to put $5,000, they're probably going to go with them, even if it is the same offer that you're offering, the same amount of money you're offering, because they seem a little more legitimate in the fact that they're ready to grow. They don't want to waste their time. They don't want escrow to fall out because you couldn't provide what you're supposed to provide. You couldn't follow through with what you're supposed to follow through with. So the second portion, that's going to be inspection. Buyers, you need to get it inspected right away. Sellers, when they get it inspected, make sure you have everything clean. Make sure you leave the house. You guys don't need to be there. When buyers are going to be there with their inspector, you don't really need to follow him around. Let him do his job. He's going to come back, give you a full report on everything that happened. Then he'll give you the report sent to your email or in paper form. You look it over. You see the things that are important and what's not important. He's going to point out everything, every little thing that's bad. But you don't need to go back to the seller and tell him to do every little thing, like the little bit of paint that's chipping or the little piece of this and that. It should be the things that matter, like the air conditioner's not working. That's a big deal. So you want to make sure that's brought up to the seller in a good amount of time. You need to do it before the contingencies are up. What that means is if you wait too long, you may end up losing money because you won't be able to get your deposit back if you don't do the inspection and get your request for repairs done in time. So every home is going to have some things on it. As for sellers, if a buyer is coming in and asking for everything, you may need to speak with their realtor and say we need to be a little more realistic on what's to be done and what really doesn't matter a whole lot. Things that are a few bucks here and there are things the buyers should just deal with. You're buying a used house. It's not a brand new house. So I wouldn't pester the sellers that much on the little details. After that, there's going to be things like title. You need to order your title, make sure it's clean, that they don't have any sort of liens attached to the house that's going to get in the way of you purchasing it. You need to have your national hazards disclosure. There's lots of things that go in between it. And then at the end is when you put your down payment. In between, for the buyers, your lender's going through all of your information to make sure that you can afford the house, to make sure that you're going to pay for it. They're going to go through your bank statements, your credit. And as the seller, you're going to be waiting around a lot asking what's going on because the buyer is kind of the one who's going through a lot more hoops than you are at that point. They're giving a lot more paperwork to the lender coming back. Toward the end of the transaction, once everything's ready, you'll talk with escrow, your agent rather will talk with escrow, and your agent should be pretty much doing everything for you. If you have a realtor that isn't helping you out, isn't explaining paperwork, isn't telling you what's going to come next, isn't giving you advice on the inspection or anything else, he's not doing a very good job. He or she is not doing a very good job, and maybe considering a different one in the future. But at the end of escrow, after you've done everything, inspections, title, and now the lender gives you that, okay, we're going to do it, that's when you close. You put down your down payment, you wire it, now the big money's gone out of your bank account, and then literally the last step is to get the closing from escrow, and you pick up your keys. It's kind of a long process. It usually takes 30 days. Sometimes it takes longer. If you're lucky, it's shorter, but on average it's 30 days. So expect a month through escrow. And understand, as buyers, you are going to have to pay for certain things too in escrow. There's escrow fees, title. As sellers, you do have to pay for some portions of escrow and a lot of other fees as well, like inspections when they want things fixed. Just understand, it's not just going to be your down payment for buyers, and for sellers, it's not just going to be the commissions you have to pay. just keep that in mind for escrow. We're going to make a more in-detail video with my partner about some of the more in-detail versions of what to expect in inspections and other portions of escrow and other things. So keep in touch. Check out our other videos. Once again, Alec Davis, Orange County, Brea, Yorba Linda. Website's alecsarahre.com. More videos to come.